What's up, people? It's your man DS the Informed, and right now I'm kind of pissed off, yo. Like, you can tell my voice is a lot hyper. This is not gonna be so much one of my more real, calm, cool Cornell West type documentations. It's not gonna be real cool and calm and explanatory. This is more so me just spazzing out. Like, I'm on a rant mode right now. Like, I'm highly upset because talking to one of my real close friends, and she made a very logical point to me. She was like, why do we spend money? Like, what's the purpose of money? I know that nowadays, since money has been put into circulation and been made this very dominant and prominent and this necessary thing in our culture and our society, that I understand people out here hustling, excuse me, trying to make that bread, trying to get that dollar. I get that. But beyond that, like, initially, what's the point of us having money? What's the point of us paying bills? Like, why do we have bills? Explain it to me. Like, I really want somebody to watch this and really explain to me, why do we have bills? Really? We have these people that take control over natural resources, things that belong to man, period. Put a price on it and then sell it to us. Why? We have to pay for the usage of water? Water is a natural resource. The earth is covered in it. The earth is a majority water. 70-some odd percent is the earth made of water. Yeah, it might be salt water, but science has already figured out how to separate salt from the H2O itself. How to get the NaCl, sodium chloride, which is what we put like this to get sodium out of the water, so now it's drinkable. No, you can't just walk into the ocean and get a cup and drink it because it'll freak you out. But you can do it. But we have the fresh water being tapped and we're being charged for it. I understand conservation. Yeah, you might have you might put a limitation on the amount of water that people use in order so we don't run out of fresh water. But there's no reason why we should be paying for it. Electricity is a natural occurrence in nature. That's what lightning is. You can have a heart attack and die, technically die. When they hook the little cables to you, forget that. If they had a metal rod and some electricity, even though that's a convenience and it has to be timed right, a metal rod hooking you can start your heart right back up. It's natural. But we do have man-made electricity. But why is it that electricity and also gas, which is naturally created, well, the oil itself is natural, is in the ground, somebody just happened to spike and find it, and they're now running it. But why is it that these natural things, and even some of the more man-made things to make it more convenient for usage, why are we being charged for it? When money, this paper dollar, I don't even know if I have anything on me now because I got my work pants on. Why is it that we're paying this paper dollar to these people in order for them to give us these natural utilization of these natural resources? Because it's not like money reproduces these things. Now, if you charge the man an acorn for paper, that's logical because acorns are seeds. Those seeds can be replanted into the ground to create trees. That's logical. That makes sense. But for me to give you money makes no sense because you can't go plant that money to get a tree. You can't go and put this money into a circulation to create electricity. It's not going to happen. You can't put money into the ground and it reproduce oil. So why are we paying money for these things? Again, I understand conservation. I understand putting people in place to regulate the usage of it, because yes, if we go wild and crazy with the usage of it, we will lose it. We will run out of it. But how is it that you can regulate who can and cannot use it? Through the process of money. You don't pay your light bill, they cut your lights off. Why? You didn't pay your electric bill. Oh, so because I didn't give you money for something that you don't technically own, you can cut it off? Really? What is that about? Like, really think about that. People, really take this into your mind. Really consider the fact money does not reproduce anything. Money is not a reproductive product of any source in this world. Money cannot create anything. Now, you can take money. If you're a millionaire, you got a lot of money. You can take your money, shred it up into little tiny pieces, and use it to insulate your house. The insulation in your house, especially because I've noticed they've started using a paper-like substance that's coated in like a flame retardant type material as insulation, because it's thicker and it's much cheaper to use, but it still holds its purpose, and it's also it's more safe, it's less hazardous compared to using fiberglass, the pink stuff that you see all in your attic and stuff. They've come up with a different solution for that, and I even have it up. It looks like lint. Is what it looks like, a big old thing of lint, like you open up your lint trap and put it up in your wall. So yeah, money can be used to do that, like directly taking it, just shred it up in little pieces, chop it up, mixing it with some other stuff, and there you go. But why are we producing money for these things? I just found out, and I don't know if this is accurate, but if it is accurate, and I believe it to be closely so, then this also just adds to the point. $6 billion, count it with me, $6 billion was spent on the 2012 election campaign between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. Even if it was with the other ones too, whatever. $6 billion was spent on campaigning. That's the videos you see on YouTube. That's the advertisements on TV, the newspapers, the magazines, even just TV interviews, the fueling for the jets and the cars, and them traveling, all that bullcrap. $6 billion to try to convince us to vote for two people that don't give two damns about us. $6 billion, and they're still starving people in America. Spending money for what? We're generating money to do what? Nothing. Pushing, giving up all this cash and getting nothing for it. I figured it out, man. The idea of money came from some selfish punk that figured by making convenient a resource, I can fool these people into becoming dependent on me. Think about it. Y'all follow me with this. Hold on. Y'all follow me on this. Let's say you lived in a village or a town and you had to walk 2 miles, a mile out and a mile back in order to get your water. And you also had to carry it. That's a lot of work. That's a nice little trip. But here comes a man, sticks a pole in the ground, runs a long pole all the way to the river where you get your water from, and said, instead of walking a mile out and a mile back to get your water, give me something as a form of payment, and I'll let you turn this spout, fill up your bucket, and go back home. And you talking about walking maybe a block and a half to the spout compared to walking a mile out and a mile back. What are people gonna do? You gonna jump right on that? Yo, son, screw walking all the way out there to get the water. When old dude right there, you can put the water in right there. All we gotta do is give him a little bit of this, and that becomes convenient. Dang. Okay, but now what about the rest of our lives? Just slowly making it more and more convenient. And when you make it convenient, you got to pay for it. You have to generate. Now, since the world is ran on money, everybody's running off of money. Not the entire world, but the majority of the world is ran off of money. Really? Seriously. And it's bad now because the dollar, the US dollar especially, is not even worth the paper that it's printed on. The paper that the US dollar is printed on costs more than the actual value of the dollar. The US dollar is really only worth about 8 to 10 cents throughout the world. But we spend it based on 100 cents. But it's not even worth a dime that it's compared to. It's lost 90% of its value that quick. So if the US dollar has lost 90% of its value, what about the 5 to 10 to 20 to 50 and the $100 bill? What is it truly made of? My friend, again, the one talking about, she was like, honestly, there's no such thing as a debt. We're not in debt to anybody because money is a non-existent. It's a value of the mind. We take a piece of paper, and this is a business card I'm about to show you. We take a piece of paper, give a value to it. And in paper, it's not even really a piece of paper. It's a cotton blend. It's like a fabric almost. That's why dollar bills don't really tear up in the wash. Put a piece of paper in the washing machine, let it get real wet and all that. Watch it just get soaking and fall apart. Dollar bills don't do that because it's made out of stuff similar to that of your t-shirt. But we take something and put value to it. I write 5 up here. This is now worth $5. No, it's not from the U.S. Mint. But if you believe it's worth $5 and I say it's worth $5 and I give it to you and you give me something of equal return, then that's what it's worth. The dollar is only worth what you're willing to let it be worth. Really? Come on, man. Spending all this money to do all of these things, and for what? To gain what? Like, they jump sickening me, yo. Like, the more I sit around by myself and I think, and a lot of times you have to sit around by yourself and think because you have to remove yourself from social influences and really just consider what's going on. Take it all in and think about it and just think to yourself, really? We spend $6 billion. We necessarily didn't spend. But $6 billion was spent trying to convince us to vote just for the president alone. And if you see this right here on my hand, it's paint. I've been doing painting and stuff like that. But $6 billion. 6. There's still starving people in America right now. Homeless. There are no jobs in America. All the jobs being outsourced. But we spent $6 billion to get a president who's going to turn around and spend trillions of dollars. Trillions. Spent $6 billion trying to get somebody in office. Then he's going to turn around and spend trillions of dollars trying to better our country. Really? Have y'all ever considered the fact maybe the government's plan, regardless of Democrat or Republican, is to make us, Republican, is to make us dependent on the government? Think about it. You want to blame the Republicans for outsourcing jobs. Okay, jobs go bye-bye. Now what? We don't have any jobs. Can't work. Oh, but wait a minute. God be the glory. Mr. Obama done signed the unemployment thing. Now we got some unemployment until we can find us another job. But you can't find another job because the jobs are being outsourced. So if Obama turns around and goes, you know what? Screw this. No more unemployment. What you gonna do now? Medicare and all this stuff we've been giving all y'all, the elders and the children. Nah, screw that too. You don't have no job though. You're dependent on those food stamps to come in, and you're dependent on the unemployment check to come in, and you're dependent on that other stuff that the government is giving us to survive. All the people that have money, all the people running around running their mouth, oh, y'all just looking for y'all handout. It's easy to run your mouth into the spot that you're working at outsources this stuff to. It's easy to talk junk until McDonald's, which ain't going nowhere because they're also feeding us, literally feeding us crap to ruin our bodies and our minds. But it's easy to talk crap until the owner of McDonald's outsources a majority of his factories, because that stuff comes from factories and warehouses, and outsources most of those jobs to China, which mean, or to India, or other parts of Asia. And now we have to worry about what's coming from them into our country being fed to us. Pay attention. And I'm not making this up. You can easily look this stuff up. This is not something I'm just sitting around going, I wonder if I say this, will people believe it? Screw believing me. Use me as a resource to open your eyes and your mind to what the freak is going on. We're becoming dependent on the government. They control stuff. The government is over there fighting to get oil. We've been fighting over there for 11 years. For what reason? Oh, now it's about oil. But gas prices haven't went down. I got my first car back in like 2006. I was working about 45 minutes from home. I had to quit my job. My hours were good, but I wasn't making enough money to keep up with gas prices. Why? Because gas prices then, 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, were as high as they are now. Gas ain't went nowhere. But we tripping. Oh, gas was $3.70. Now it was $3.20. It's great. No, it's a 50-cent drop, but that's still freaking horrible that we spending over $3 for a freaking gallon of gas. Huh? It's become a norm to the point that we've accepted the $3 mark, these prices now, as the norm. It's okay. Everybody was talking about they were going on protests if gas got more than $2. Gas got way more than $2. Almost $4 at one point. I think in some parts of the country it reached over $4, almost $5. Guess what y'all were doing? Still pumping. They're cutting your hours and your pay. The prices of food and stuff are going up, but we still pumping. Why? Why are we paying for these things? Why are we as a people, not just black people, we as a country, we as people, why are we paying for these things? Why are we killing ourselves to live? Think about that, man. For real. Really sit back and consider the fact. Everybody looking at the Democrat and the Republican. Screw all that. Forget all of that. Because it's a bunch of bull. It's a screen. It's a cloud of smoke to blind you from the fact that they're all working together. Maybe if we stop looking at them as parties and start thinking of them, excuse me, still getting over this cold, as one party. Think of them as one party. Excuse me, the fuck you party. We're going to do what we want to do to get what we want and screw everybody else in the middle. Think about them that way. Really consider it. Obama, the Senate, the judges, all that, all together, working to get something done. Like I said, yeah, Obama signed all that stuff because the Republicans outsourced all the jobs. Obama said, okay, since y'all got rid of the jobs, I'm going to help the people out by putting all these things into action so that they can have the money to spend on stuff that you shouldn't even have to pay for. Really? And I'm going to get off here in a minute, yo, because I'm really pissed. I can do this for an hour. I talked my brother head off last night for about 2.5 hours about these situations. But think about education for a minute. And remember, the cutting of educational funds is not just collegiate. It's not just college. You're talking elementary, middle, and high school as well. Grade school is affected by the cutting of educational funds. Remember that. But let's talk about college. I've been in college, slowly making my way through, searching and studying. I got a lot more stuff that I do. So college takes me a minute compared to other people. Some people can get in 4 years, drop it out, knock it out. But they don't really do much in the meantime. I'm doing a lot, doing a heck of a lot. So I cut my class schedule down so I can have more time throughout the day. But anyway, over the years, my freshman year of college, I did whatever most freshmen do. I effed up. Low GPA, horrible. But I got out of there decent enough. They didn't kick me out. I made it through. And this is even coming from a scholar because I hated my major. And that should be no excuse, but I'm not going to get into my life. Just going to make a point. They were giving me so much money. I'm talking people just ready to just throw money in. Here, sir. Scholarships, loans, grants, free money here, free money there. You know some of the same scholarships I was getting my freshman year of high school, well, not high school, excuse me, my freshman year of college, have been cut or almost depleted since I've been in school. And now my GPA is higher. Now my resume looks better. Now all the reasons to give me money are much better than they were then. And I'm putting it up there and showing them. And they're looking at it and going, sir, we're going to give you the scholarship. But back in 2007, when the scholarship was $1,000, now in 2012, it's only $350. That's a $650 difference. It might not seem like much on one scholarship, but when you do that with 8 or 9 different scholarships, 5 or 6 different grants, my loans are going down. They're not even the same. They couldn't even loan out the same amount of money because their funds have been cut. Really? And there's a boost in education? It's a joke. It's a trap. Unless you get yourself into a field that's growing or that has a strong demand, you're going to be screwed. Why are we even paying to go to college? Grade school is free. But grade school don't cut it no more. Grade school is free. K through 12 is free. But high school diploma not even cutting it anywhere. You got to get at least a 2-year degree. At least 2 years. At least 2. Why are we paying to go to college? You know why other countries are crushing us in that area? Money doesn't make you smarter. Just because you have a lot of money, there's a lot of rich idiots out there, and there's a lot of poor righteous teachers out here as well. Money doesn't make you smarter. Just because you can generate more money doesn't necessarily make you smart. There's a lot of rich teens out here, and I'm sure a lot of y'all know, and they dumber than a sack of freaking bricks. Because money don't make you smart. Money does not make you smart. Excuse my improper language. Oh my God. Money doesn't make you smart. Studying, reading, doing your work, stuff in that nature makes you smart. Life experiences make you smart. Gain intelligence and wisdom. Get it all. You got to have it all. But we pay for it. We spend money on it. For what? Why do we pay to go to college? Really? I understand private institutions, just like private school. But public colleges and universities, why do we pay to go to them? Think about it, y'all. Like, really, I really want people to sit back and think about it. Look at your bills and ask yourself, why am I spending money to live? If you are poor, have no money, you can't live because skills don't mean nothing anymore. They're closing down the factories in all these industries where hands-on skills means that you can have a life. And they're outsourcing them and forcing us to pay more money for imported goods that they first outsourced. The warehouses and the industry first, they outsourced it. Now it's an imported good, therefore they can raise the price on it and raise the taxes on it for us to pay for. But the thing you have to ask is, why are we paying for it in the first place? Other countries pay for their kids to go to school. College, they pay for that. Full rides, everybody gets a full ride. Of course, you have to qualify first, but if you go, you full riding. Full ride to school. No wasted education. You can't afford to waste your education. Really think about that, man. And then they come over here and take all our high-paying jobs. Really? Come on, man. Y'all get some business about yourself, man. Get your thoughts together for real. Because it's really starting to bug me, man. I'm looking around and I'm seeing people struggling and losing everything all over the value that we put on a freaking piece of paper. On some little piece of freaking paper with a number up there that says 5 with some dead dude's face on the freaking front. And we're losing our freaking minds over it. Trillions of dollars in some imaginary debt. $6 billion trying to get a freaking president that's going to spend trillions of more dollars and put us in debt. But we got hungry people starving in the freaking streets. We got homeless children. We got poor education systems. People dying because they can't afford insurance or Medicare or all this. They can't afford. You can't afford to live. You have to pay in order to live. What kind of life is that? Really, man. Yo, I'm cutting this off because I've been going for almost 25 minutes. Like I said, I could do this for an hour, yo. I'm this the Inform, yo. Subscribe, comment, repost, share. You better do everything before you have to start paying to use Facebook and YouTube. Hell, they talking about making people pay for that stuff. Really. Really. Get some thoughts about yourself, man. This the Inform. Peace.